So the fire trucks are long gone. And then what happens is 6 hours later, the whole attic is going and the home is burnt to the ground.
Wow.
Because those embers get in there and they fester and they take hours to get going, but they do. They land in the, so now that's why there's a new code actually that requires ember-proof attics in the high fire risk areas.
Wow.
So that technology's out there now. So you've got...
How do people find out about that stuff though?
It's,
I mean, we've been pretty focused with Mike on this stuff. Fire department looks for brush clearance every
Right.
year, but we don't hear much about that stuff.
well, that's what I'm saying. The fire department's mantra is brush clearance, defensible space. Again, because they want defensible space, and that's an excellent thing to have. It's just that because we're a private industry, we have the ability to go well beyond that. That's why we create the no burn zone.
Okay.
You know, defensible space is fine, but we really want a no burn zone.
You're saying this vegetation should be on there because it protects from embers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you spray this stuff, how does it affect the vegetation? This retardant that you're talking about.
Actually, the retardant that we use is environmentally friendly and it's non-toxic. So you could spray your brush areas or your grass in a field or whatever and have the animals come eat it. It does them no harm. It's also a low-grade fertilizer. So when it does finally wash off, it's enhancing the soil.
How about spraying the animals?
Well, I tell you what, we spray it all the time on ourselves. I mean, it gets all over us, and it's a little bit sticky. Other than that, there is no problem. It's non-toxic.
How it would do with birds. We had aviaries full of birds.
Well, I wouldn't spray directly on them unless we were going to torch them. Barring that, I mean, this is actually approved by the Forest Service. So it's already been through the testing. We know it's non-toxic. And again, like I say, animals can eat the vegetation that's been sprayed.
So to get the benefit of this, you don't wait until the fire's down the street to try to contact you to get this stuff.
Or to use it yourself.
You need to have it on hand.
Exactly. And again, we're not saying we're the only people that can use it. I mean, we want homeowners to use this stuff. I mean, we sell equipment to homeowners to allow them to use it. And and we train them actually how to use it. And again, when we tell a homeowner that, or when actually a homeowner tells us, I want to stay and defend, and we give them the tools to do it, part of that tool is the proper gear. We want them in fire retardant gear. We want them with goggles. We want them with a helmet. Staying to defend your home in a fire is serious business. I know you know that. Everyone does. Too many people take it lightly, which is why you see the people with the garden hoses and the shorts and the flip-flops and they're up there on their roof and they think they're doing some good. Well, one of the things is water isn't that great of an extinguishing agent. It was in Ben Franklin's day. When Ben Franklin was using water and that was the only thing he had, it was a good deal. But we have come so far past water, and particularly with these gels. That's another really good thing that we use on emergency response. But we also stress that the homeowner gel the home as well, because you use a finite amount. And once you put it on, you're good to go. You don't have to keep pouring water on it. I mean, it's like thick water, it stays.
Ben Franklin in that era probably didn't have the kinds of chemicals and the paints and all that other stuff that we're trying to combat today. Yeah, you know, you see every once in a while on TV, you know, these little, pardon me folks, grumpy old men who have lived in this spot for 40, 50, 100 years and they're not going to leave the homestead. And they're standing there and they obviously are not suited up. You have no idea. That fire we had in the South Hills, we were over there at a friend's house. The fire peaked at the South Hills and started coming down. And you have no idea the fear that it puts in you when you see that stuff racing down that mountain. Even though you got a freeway between you and you got the fire trucks. I mean, it really instills in you.
Well, you remember the time you sat in my backyard.
And we watched that.
Watched the fire, and I had Pasadena Animal Control ready to bring trucks out to get my animals out.
That was that close.
Was nice.
Yeah. It is tremendous, folks, and once it comes, it's really hard to stop.
Yeah.
What else can you tell me about how to defend your? We've
Sure.
got
Maybe
this.
we need
Yeah.
a demonstration.
Should we show the demonstration?
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
They've brought some of this stuff with them. They're going to show you what this fire retardant can do, and you should probably. Yes, you may. And show us how it operates, what happens, what the equipment is the homeowners should probably have. Yeah, and I don't know if his microphone's going to stretch.
Actually, if I stay here and Dave comes over, oh, okay.
There you go. Part of it.
Now, what we can demonstrate first is, yeah, and the floor is good.
Are you on cam? Yeah, you're on cam.
Okay, Dave, you want to take our fire extinguishing agent?
We'll do that.
Okay, what I want to demonstrate first is the effectiveness of the long-term fire retardant. Now, normally,
When you say long-term, what is long-term?
long-term means that it's going to go on, and then after it dries, it's going to stay on whatever the brush, trees, whatever, until it's washed off. So we're talking months.
Okay.
This is a very, and it has to
Water
be
washes this off?
a great deal of water. It has to
Okay.
be intentionally washed off. Now, if there was a monsoon, it could wash it off of your plants once it's put on, definitely. And then it does have a half-life, and it's typically about 6 months.
Okay.
So, but it'll get you through the fire season, and that's what you want.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, now I'm going to have Dave hold this. Now, part of this was treated. The top part was treated, and the bottom part is not. So we're going to get this thing going here.
But one side was treated and one side was not.
Okay, what happens, I want to let this continue to burn because I want to demonstrate something. The way these long-term fire retardants work is they char. They create a carbon. Now what happens is this actually carbonizes. Okay, and that is what is the barrier. This carbon right here is the barrier that prevents the flames from actually from spreading. So it looks like it's all burnt up, but that's intentional. This is called a carbonizing fire retardant. This carbon now creates a barrier between actually it takes away the oxygen is what it does now.
Okay.
Because there's carbon there. So the plant or whatever could burn. I mean, it will definitely carbonize, and that's exactly what you want. Now, what happens, though, is that as that fire continues on down the road next to the subsequent long-term fire retardant, there's nothing left to burn. It just simply will go out. At the very least, or at the very worst, it'll slow down so much that it gives you a fighting chance, and that's what you want. You want to take the heat out of that fire. And this carbonizing fire retardant does exactly that. Everything else is gone except the carbon. Now, let me just demonstrate real quick. This is untreated.
Okay.
Okay? So this is what I'm talking about with we want you to keep your vegetation. Now, this was a very well kept tree. It's in a garden. I took this straight off of this tree, and you can see once I take the fire away, it really doesn't want to keep going, does it? Okay, now this is untreated. Now if we had put fire retardant on it, it would be 10 times better. But even without fire retardant, a healthy tree is a safe tree.
And if that had fire retardant on it, it would
Same thing, it
turn
would,
black, carbonize,
yes.
but it wouldn't actually burn or spread the fire.
Exactly, and that's what you want. You slow it down to eventually, if you have, say, a 30-foot barrier of fire retardant, well, by the time you get to that 30 feet, nothing's burning.